This is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Platinum versus AEW Dark Elevation. This is, I like to do, instead of doing the date, I like to do the episode, and this is episode 32. Holy crap, I've covered a lot of these, of AEW Dark Elevation. A 51-minute show, a reasonable number of matches. I think, again, it's just one of these where they found a nice balance. I thought it really worked. There weren't a ton of competitive matches, which is, believe it or not, a little unusual for AEW Dark Elevation, which I think is usually the superior show as far as having more kind of matchups that at least have the pretense of being competitive. This one, not so much. Let's just jump into it. So we had Emi Sakura, who's been picking up wins as of late, with Lulu Pencil, of course, against Sky Blue, who they've taken quite a liking to. This is Sky Blue's 6th match. She's 0-5. And this is Emi Sakura's 16th match. I grade these things on a 3-check scale. Blue gets a lot of offense, so that's going to give that 3rd check mark. Emi Sakura looks dominant here, so that's a check mark, and then wins with the Queen's Gambit. Great series and a great title for a finisher. So 3 check marks here. Daniel Garcia and 2.0 in 6-man or trios action against Shane Stetson, who I am not familiar with, so I'm going to guess that this is a first appearance in AEW. Justin Carino, who I believe has made 1 appearance, and the one-man thrill ride. I have no idea who this mofo is, so I'm going to assume that's a first appearance too. This is really about Daniel Garcia and 2.0 kind of doing their thing and showing their stuff, and they most certainly do, finally winning with a 2 for the show via 2.0, and the sharpshooter for Daniel Garcia, and Stetson taps out here. And so 3 check marks here because they did look dominant, they did look good in the win, and then they did a very good job, though they didn't get a lot of offense. It was the only offense they got was to really set up comebacks for the heel trios team. So 3 check marks, and we're moving on. 3rd match, Wardlow and Sean Spears. You know what this match is going to be already. Fuego del Sol and Marco Stunt. Do I dare call this competitive? I guess so, just so we can get on our other 3-check system. So did both sides look good? Yeah, I thought Stunt and Fuego actually looked good when they were able to get offense, and it looked believable enough. Wardlow sold appropriately without overselling, most certainly. Did Sean Spears and Wardlow look dominant in their win? Yes, the old knockout of they're calling it the casualty of war, where you drop into Wardlow's knee. It's brutal looking. And then a 3rd check mark, did something feel advanced? Yeah, I think we might have a thing later on betwixt either Jurassic Express and or some variation of Sammy Guevara and whomever. So sure, we'll give it 3 check marks. 4th match, Lance Archer against Luis Bruno, who I've never seen before in AEW, so it's probably his first appearance. Lance Archer demolishes him. It's great to see Jake the Snake Roberts out there looking in good health as well. Not much to this. It is what it is. If you've seen one Lance Archer squash match, you've honestly seen them all. Though Archer has added the running crossbody block to his arsenal as a regular thing, and it looks good. So, yeah, 3 check marks. Moving on. Abaddon against Davian. Davian, who's made 1 other appearance, I believe, and Abaddon, who people would be shocked. If I told you how many losses has Abaddon had in over 20 matches in AEW, you would be shocked to hear that it's only 2 losses. So they tend to keep Abaddon in these matches where Abaddon doesn't sell very much and destroys somebody, and this match is no exception. But I'm happy to say that Abaddon is continuing to use that leg trap DDT instead of the Widow's Peak. I think it's a good move, and she looks good here, 3 check marks. The Gun Club are talking about how great they are, how they're heels now, and they're still undefeated in AEW. Sounds like a setup for something big next week. We shall see. Santana and Ortiz, who I adore, against Obarion and Kodama. What? Brand new team, brand new appearance in AEW. They get a little offense in, but this is really about Santana and Ortiz looking dominant, and they mostly do. And they hit the double flapjack to pick up the victory, which I like instead of Santana and Ortiz doing one of their more brutal finishers. This is a match they were clearly in control of, so I thought a double flapjack is an appropriate amount of damage to do to the hapless team. So 3 check marks. Chris Statlander with Chuck Taylor at ringside, and Wheeler Yuta against Becca with a 3 in place of the E. Becca gets to show a little bit here, but Statlander boops her nose, and then hits her with a Big Bang Theory, which is basically a pile driver variation. You see what I mean about how it looks so disproportionate for baby faces to hit pile driver moves to win matches against people who are there to enhance them. Just my opinion. It is what it is. Certainly Statlander looked brutal and efficient. We'll give it 3 check marks. And it looks like we're going to have a 3 check mark night all night. We got the Acclaimed against Colin Delaney, who I know has had at least 1 match, and Cheech, who I don't know from Adam, so I'm going to assume this is a first appearance. The Acclaimed have a bit of a back and forth match with them and make them look good, but of course they eventually win with the mic drop. The Rap coming to the ring really wasn't much to speak of. Because Delaney and Cheech attack, which makes sense. It's like, you say bad stuff about us, we should attack you. 9th match, FTR with Tully Blanchard. And by the way, we're moving very efficiently through this show because we have 10 matches that get done in 51 minutes. So you can determine how long all of these matches were, which is to say not very. FTR against Elijah Dean, who's had 1 match, and Zach Nystrom, who's had none. So you can see they tend to use the local talent for these enhancements, based on the area that they are. So that exposes them to a lot of different people, which I think is really cool. At the end of it, Wheeler knocks Nystrom off the ring apron, and FTR connects with the big rig to pick up the victory. Not much to speak of here. It's really FTR looking incredibly dominant, which is the look that they're going for, which makes sense to me. 3 check marks. And then finally, Sonny Kiss against KM, who has never made an appearance. Sonny Kiss, who they're trying to give some wins to here, and they certainly do it. KM playing the part of the heel, stomping away, but at the end of it, Kiss delivers that roundhouse kick and the splitting TKO to pick up the victory. And afterwards, Kayla Rossi walks down to the ring as a distraction, and Joey Janela attacks, but then Kiss punches Janela, and then Janela hides behind Rossi. So pretty uneventful, I have to say, AEW Dark Elevation. No a lot of interviews of significance, no angles really advanced. It's probably the most disappointing episode of AEW Dark Elevation in terms of the fact that they usually try to make the show of a higher quality. This one is really just an AEW Dark. So we'll see if AEW Dark itself tomorrow night ends up being better than Elevation for the first time. I think it's a strong possibility.